channel. So today we're going to be talking all things travel. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen from my highlights I did a massive Asia trip at the end of 2019, and I get a lot of DMs asking me about places I went, how much money do you need, how many days should I have in each place, what islands should I be going to and not going to, how long do you need it to be, money, accommodation, things to do. So I thought I'll put it all into big YouTube video for you, and yeah, hopefully it helps if you're ever planning a trip after COVID. I really miss traveling. It's such a mood. But anyway, let's get started. To begin with, let me tell you about how much money we actually spent in total. So we went for 3 months. We did Dubai, we did Thailand, so we did Bangkok to begin with, then we went into Cambodia, we did Vietnam, then we did the Thai islands, island hopping, then we went to Singapore, then to Bali, then to the Philippines. Now all in all we spent 6,000 each. That was including flights from the UK and everywhere. That included money we spent there, that included money on like trips and excursions, it included like things that we bought before the trip that we needed to buy, that included hotels. So that 6,000 each included everything for the 3 months. So that's how much we spent in total. I'll talk you through each place we went and kind of hotels, costings, things to do there, what I recommend and what not I recommend. So let's start with Dubai. Dubai was my absolute favourite place. We went because I was just wowed by everything. We did I want to say 3 days, maybe 4. No, I think we did 3 days and I would have wanted more, but it was just like a stopover before we went to do like the main bit of the Asia trip. I would personally, if you're going to Dubai, why not make it into a week? Some people might disagree and say you need 4 or 5 days. So that's my personal opinion. In terms of money, the only downside to Dubai if you are on a budget is that it's expensive. Like I was paying £20 for a glass of Prosecco. Like you can't, but the thing is there are loads of different options. Like you don't have to eat in fancy restaurants. There's McDonald's, there's fast food places, there's cheaper places, just grabbing a bite to eat. Obviously one of my biggest concerns was like, can you hold hands, can you do this? And me and my boyfriend just made a conscious effort not to hold hands because you just got to respect people's culture, but a lot of tourists do. In the mall I was wearing literally a strappy vest dress. It didn't offend anyone, I didn't get into any trouble. It's not as strict as you think. Things that I definitely recommend, obviously the fountain show and the Burj Khalifa, definitely a rooftop bar that's not the Burj Khalifa, like so you can see the Burj Khalifa, if that makes sense. My favourite restaurant was the Cheesecake Factory. I absolutely loved it. I would recommend the desert. I just feel like we picked the wrong tour. It was very rushed. You don't get long. You literally get 30 seconds on a camel. I think if I was to do it again, I'd actually do like a sit-down meal in the desert and have more time there but it is one of the most breathtaking views, so I would recommend it. Just be mindful about when you're booking that tour. Oh, zero gravity is an absolute must. It was just insane. Like it's this massive beach club with a massive like infinity pool on the beach. You see the skyline of Dubai. Oh, it was just the most unreal day. Boys do actually have to pay a lot more to get into places than girls in Dubai, but we paid 110 for both of us. We got unlimited alcohol drinks and unlimited food all day at the event, so it was totally worth it. I can't give you any advice on hotels just because we have friends that work for Emirates, so we stayed with them. But in terms of all-round experience, it was a really good, cool trip and everything wowed me. Then we went into like Thailand. Bangkok for me, I just wouldn't recommend it. There is some cool things to do there. If you do want to pass through it, I would only recommend 2 days. But it just wasn't really for me, it wasn't my vibe. We did go to Wat Po, which is a really cool temple with the massive lying down Buddha, which was really cool experience. And then actual Thailand. So people always say what islands to go to. So we did Phuket, we did Phi Phi, we did Krabi, and we did Koh Lanta. We just stuck to one side. But basically from what I've heard from other people about like Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Koh Tao, and what I experienced, if you are someone that is wanting to juggle it, I would recommend, if I was to do this again, I would do Phuket and Phi Phi, on that side, then I would just go straight over to the other side and do Koh Samui and Koh Phangan. That is what I would do. Koh Lanta you don't need to do. There's nothing on Koh Lanta. The whole point of it is to just go and chill. And there's beaches, no nightlife whatsoever. Like, there is restaurants and things. It's just very, very chilled. While we were in Koh Lanta, we just were on the beach, sunbathing and getting massages. But yeah, 100% recommend Phuket. It's just, you could spend a month in Phuket. There's so much to do. It's insane. It's incredible. In terms of accommodation, what I would recommend to you is this site called Agoda. It's kind of like the booking.com of Asia. It's just a really good, helpful site. That's the cheapest prices you're gonna find. While we did Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, we didn't pay more than £10 a night for a hotel room. You can get really nice, standard, cheap accommodation for £10 a night. Sometimes they can be in weird, dodgy areas. Obviously, there are amazing 5-star hotels everywhere you go, but we just didn't have the budget for that. But we felt safe in every room we had, and some rooms we actually just could not believe that it was £7. The only place that you will not find like £10 accommodation is PP, because it's a very small popular island and they can charge more. We did manage to find one for £19 a night. It was a bit of a crappy room. You basically do just have to pay more on PP, but PP is an absolute must. You need to go there. Hotel chain, just to let you know, all in Southeast Asia, it's called Oyo, O-Y-O, and it's kind of like the Travelodge of Asia. We found it just like, it's really cheap, reliable. So if you are on Agoda and you see an Oyo hotel, there's like millions of them, but if you see an Oyo hotel, they're like good, clean, standard hotels to go to. So yeah, back to Phuket. We mainly just ate street food, so we stayed in Patong. Patong is the place with Bangla Road, with all of the amazing party action, all of the clubs like Illusion and Sugar, the girls dancing on bars, shopping malls, markets, street food, massive street food like bit that you can sit in and order all fresh food. We literally stayed in Patong, and then what we did was get a bike and then in the day go to other places, because the beach in Patong is the worst beach. I would really recommend, if you're in Phuket, doing the sunset viewpoint at the end of the island. I would do like the Karon or Katron viewpoint. It's amazing. We did elephant, but my absolute recommendation, 2 recommendations for Phuket are Blue Lagoon Slip and Fly. It is honestly insane. The slide is crazy. It's a really cool water park with loads of different water sports going on. Go in a big group, it'll be really fun. And also my other recommendation is Freedom Beach. Freedom Beach was my favourite beach from the whole trip. It is just, Google Freedom Beach when you're in Phuket and you need to go there. It's just a tiny little paradise that is just like so hidden, but it's amazing when you're there. Crystal clear waters, white sand beaches, it's amazing. In terms of food prices, we literally ate street food every night, where you literally pay £5 each and you're eating like a king. And then PP is a must. Like, just Google PP, like the fire breathers, dancing on the beach, buckets, you've got the viewpoint, you've got the excursion day where you get to go to Monkey Beach, Bamboo Island. It's just one of the most beautiful places I've ever been, but then it's also just got a vibe of a party island. Amazing. PP is a must. We're going to Cambodia next. So Cambodia was a bit of a weird one for me. It really opened my eyes. It was one of the first places we went after Dubai, and it's a poor country, and it really opened my eyes to the trip that we were on and what we were going to see and the cultures we were going to see. The people, the Cambodian people, are so polite, so nice, so welcoming. We did Siem Reap and Phnom Penh. I just really wouldn't recommend Phnom Penh. There's actually not much there apart from the prison where you find out about the Cambodian Civil War, which is great history. So if you do end up passing through Phnom Penh, I really recommend that, but I honestly have nothing else to recommend about Phnom Penh. I didn't enjoy it. And Siem Reap, that is somewhere I would recommend any person to go. If you are in the Asia, like, hemisphere area, whatever, go to Siem Reap in Cambodia. Siem Reap as a town is beautiful. They've got this pub street and it's all lit up. It's got like pubs, bars, restaurants, market halls, massage places. You literally, Cambodia is by far the cheapest place. They deal in dollars because their Cambodian money is so bad, so do bear that in mind, because it's actually quite hard to get rid of your Cambodian money, so it's dollars that they use. But you can get massages for $1. You can literally buy things from the market for $1. You can get beers for 50 cents. It's crazy. But the biggest thing about Siem Reap that I recommend is the Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is crazy. I think you pay like £39 per person to go. We got a tuk-tuk driver from the village of Siem Reap. I think we paid $20 to have him all day, and he took us around 3 different temples of Angkor Wat. It's insane how big and wow it is. It's like thousands of year old temple, and it is crazy, and it's just amazing to see. Another quick one, if you are stopping over in Siem Reap, is go to the circus. It is great. I would recommend, it depends how many days you want to do at the temple. We just did 1 day at the temple, and that was more than enough for us. We got to see the big 3. So we just did 2 days in Siem Reap, and I actually was okay with that. That's Cambodia. Vietnam, one of my favourite places in the whole thing. It's just such a culture experience. Basically, you only get 2 weeks free in Vietnam before you've got to pay for a visa. So we just did the 2 weeks, but you could definitely do a month in Vietnam because it's a long country, so you've got to travel by plane a lot to get to places. We started at the bottom in Ho Chi Minh, then we got a plane to Da Nang, then we did get an overnight bus from like Da Nang, Hoi An area to Hanoi, which the overnight bus, I would never ever do it again, but I completely understand if you want to give it a go. But I am glad I did it. I am glad I did it. So it's one of those, definitely I'd recommend to do it for the experience, but you only need to do 1. So in terms of places, we did only 2 days in Ho Chi Minh, which I feel like it was enough. We basically, because we knew we only had 2 days, we crammed it all in. But I feel like I could have definitely had 3 days there, just to like feel like I did a bit more. In Da Nang we had 2 days, Hoi An we had 3 days, and then we did 4 days in Hanoi. I think we had a bit too long in Hanoi, but we were supposed to go to Halong Bay for like an overnight trip maybe, but the weather just wasn't great while we were there, so there was no point booking an overnight trip to Halong Bay because you just didn't get to see it if the weather's bad. So you don't need like 4 actual days in Hanoi. So Ho Chi Minh I think was my favourite. There's just so many cool quirky places. The square's amazing. It's such a beautiful city. We did the Heineken tour, we did the Ho Chi Minh tunnels, which that's where you get to find out on that trip, and you go to the tunnels, you find out all about the Vietnam Civil War, which was really interesting. Hoi An is just like this really amazing cute fishing village, all with yellow buildings, lanterns, market streets. It's very like old school. The people are nice, loads of restaurants, loads of shops, loads of massage parlours. There's a nice river. It really is like everyone's just biking and walking around. It's such a little community. It is amazing. We did most of our shopping there. We were buying presents for like £3, £1. And then Da Nang, if you go to Da Nang, I do actually recommend 2 days because it's got a beach there. You can have 1 day on the beach and exploring like the Lady Buddha at the top. But also, if you are just going, even just for 1 day, you need to go to Barna Hills. It's got the amazing bridge with the hands. If you see them on my Instagram. But yeah, no, it's like Barna Hills is such a good day out. I can't even describe to you like what it is. You need to just Google Barna Hills and you'll be like, yeah, I'm going there. And then Hanoi is really just cool, relaxed. There's loads of just cool coffee shops, really nice chilled, massive lake, beautiful. You can sightsee a little bit. But I actually preferred the other 3 places. So yeah, and again, we used Agoda. We stayed in a lot of oyos, literally no more than £10 a night. Food-wise, the street food markets are dirt cheap, and the street food market in Ho Chi Minh was some of our favourite food from the whole trip, FYI, really good noodles. Now let's talk about Bali. So Bali was like my second favourite place on the whole trip. It is just a vibe. We did 10 days there. You could easily spend a month in Bali, but to be fair, I actually feel like in 10 days we got to see quite a lot. So there's kind of two kind of parts to Bali. So there's like the Kuta side, the party side, like where the beach clubs are, and then there's like Ubud, which is inside the jungle. So we did 5 days in each area. Now, I would recommend actually staying more days on the beach side area, because there's just so much going on in an evening and more to do. And that's where you'll meet like-minded young tourists and things, and then just doing day trips into Ubud. I definitely recommend staying like a couple of days in Ubud, but I don't think we needed 5 days. Definitely recommend, you have to go to Finn's Beach Club and Potato Head Beach Club. They're just insane places. I can't even describe. Like, we did pay like £100 to get into Finn's, but then basically what that is it gets you the bed, but then you can basically spend that money in drink and food all day. So we were there literally from like 12 till like 9 o'clock at night, so we drank and ate and spent the £100. So you get your money's worth, and it's just such a cool experience that we met so many people from all over the world at Finn's Beach Club. It was just such a good day out. I tell you one thing with Bali, what we did the whole trip while we were there, we used Instagram to search what we wanted to do. Just go on Instagram and type in like Bali Instagram, and so many places come up because it's such an Instagrammable place. Everyone just tags their locations. Food wise, it is dirt cheap. In Bali, you literally get like luxury for the price of like you're in Primark. We were like literally eating in steak restaurant and getting steak for like £8. Then we went to Ubud, and that's where we did a lot more like excursions. We went to Monkey Forest, which I do recommend, but definitely be careful of the monkeys because they do like stealing everything. Also did the sunrise mountain trek up Mount Batur. Now that was one of the most breathtaking experiences of the whole trip. You have got to have physical stamina, and I was not physically prepared for it, but we did it, and it was so worth it, so worth the money. Like, I cannot, it was like actually being on the top of the mountain for the sun rising was beautiful, so good. And then we did like a couple of temples, couple of waterfalls, and we did the Bali swing. So we did manage to we did manage to fill the 5 days, and the centre of Ubud has really nice markets. It does have a lot of restaurants, but it's just a very chilled vibe, and as you can tell from this video, I quite liked the party side of things. Hotel wise and price wise, for Bali, in the beach side, we were paying I think £16 a night for our hotel, and it was literally like a luxury. We felt like it was luxury, so God knows what the actual luxury hotels include. And then in Ubud, I think we paid again about £16 a night. And then one night we did in Ubud, we decided to get our own private villa for the day, which I actually would really recommend. Just have a chill day. We got our own private villa with our own pool for £30 for the night, and like it had one of those outdoor bathrooms. It was insane. That was like on my bucket list to do while we were there, to go in a villa, and so we did that, and that was crazy. And then we've got Singapore. I actually cannot fault Singapore. The only thing I would say is it's like Dubai, it's very expensive. It's kind of like Dubai. Everywhere you go, you're just like, wow. Like, wow. Definite things that you have to do. Marina Bay and Marina Bay Gardens, the fountains at Marina Bay. We did Universal for the day, which we absolutely loved and enjoyed. They have a massive shopping district area like our Oxford Street, which is good. We went to Raffles Hotel, which was nice to see. Definitely though, recommend don't go up the Marina Bay Sands to the bar. It is rubbish, and what you need to do is go to a rooftop bar, kind of like Dubai, that's different, where you actually get to see the Marina Bay Sands. In terms of getting around, it is the easiest place to get around. The main language is English. The overground is really easy to use. So in terms of like getting around and the people, it's the easiest place. I would recommend 5 days in Singapore. Some people might say that's too much, but we did 4, and I could have done with an extra day. And then the Philippines for me was just like the disappointment of the whole trip. The thing with the Philippines is it's a very bitty vacation. It's lots of different islands, the country, and you can't get to each island by boat. You've got to get there by plane, which can take up like days of your trip. We only had 12 days, so we only decided to do 2 islands in the end. Because if we try to do a 3rd island, we're going to just spend literally more time travelling than we are in each place. And then the thing is, you do all that travelling, you finally get to the place, and there's literally only like that one thing to do there that you've like Googled. So we did Cebu and Palawan. In Cebu we went to Molbol because we wanted to go to the waterfall, we wanted to swim with the turtles and sardines. I would literally only recommend 2 days there. And then we went to Oslo because my boyfriend wanted to swim with the whale sharks. If you do go swim with the whale sharks, it's basically 10 minutes away from where that is. There's a really nice like island called Semilian Island, and that is beautiful for the day. So you can definitely do both of them on the same day. But there's nothing to do in Oslo. We made the mistake of actually going to spend overnight in Oslo for the whale sharks, and there was nothing to do. We spent actually the day in the hotel room because there was literally nothing to do. And food prices are weird in Philippines. We didn't dare try street food there, and there wasn't actually much street food up for grabs, to be honest. So it was mainly like restaurants, and the food wasn't great, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really painting a good picture, but I have to say, like, seeing the turtle and swimming in the crystal clear waters and going, and my boyfriend said swimming with the whale sharks was the best thing he ever did, but this is what I mean, it's a bitty vacation, because in Cebu, the airport is actually 4 hours away from where that is, and the roads are atrocious. So it's just a very weird travelling all the time. We did do Palawan as well though. Now Palawan was better than Cebu because you go to El Nido, and El Nido is really good for scuba diving. It's got the tours where you get to just go and see sites that you just don't even believe exist. But yeah, again, we got to Puerto Princesa Airport in Palawan, and then we had to drive 8 hours to El Nido. So yeah, but El Nido is nice. The accommodation in Philippines is very basic. It was the worst accommodation from the whole trip. In terms of amazing sights, it was up there at the top, so it's very weird and bizarre. As I said, you just have to be prepared to travel a long way to spend like 2 days somewhere, and then travel a really long way again to spend 1 day somewhere. But the waters were the clearest waters, really beautiful beaches. Like the Tour A was just something else. Just type in El Nido Tour A and you'll get what I mean. It is insane. We probably spent in 12 days about 1,000 in Philippines. We were being really tight though because it was our last place and we wanted to go home with a bit of money. But yeah, that was our 3-month trip in Asia. I hope that kind of made sense to you. I hope I answered questions on budget and how many days to stay in places. And yeah, basically, I have got other videos if you want to go and check them out. If you want to subscribe and like, that would mean the world to me. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope it helped. And as I say, if you've got any other questions about it, please just get my Instagram DMs. But I hope you have a good day and bye.